Okay, this is a walkthrough of this paper, Edexcel, Maths GCSE. Paper 1, non-calculator, foundation tier. Write 38% as a decimal. To convert a percentage into a decimal, we just need to divide it by 100. What's 38 divided by 100? It is 0.38. What fraction of this shape is shaded? We've got 3 parts shaded out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3/10. Here's a list of numbers. From the list, write down the smallest number. So if you just look at the place value of the first digit, we can see that 0.5. Oh, that's all we need, the smallest number, 0.5. Okay, next question. Work out -9 plus 5. If you want to think of it as a number line, there's 0. Here's -9. When we add, you move to the right. The -9 add 5 is -4. Because you move to the right 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would take you to -4. Solve the equation. I was thinking when you're solving the equations, you need to do reverse steps. So how do you reverse a takeaway 2? We add 2 to both sides. -2 add 2 is 0, so you're left with your p. 3 add 2 is 5. You could have really worked this out by just looking at, well, what takeaway 2 is 3? It's 5. Freddie adds labels to the diagram of the circle. Explain why one of the labels is wrong. The centre, that's correct. The circumference is around the outside, correct. So it's this diameter here. It's not the diameter, it's the radius. So Freddie has labelled diameter incorrectly. Should be radius. Write down 3 different factors of 20. I'm going to give you all the factors, so as long as you've chosen 3 from my list. So factors are numbers that divide into 20. You've got 120, 1 times 20 is 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, so any 3 from that list. Work out the size of the angle marked X. The angles around a point add up to 360, right? So we need 360, take away 50. You could work this out in your head if you want. 0 take away 0 is 0, 6 take away 5 is 1, 3 take away 1, sorry, 3 take away 0 is 3, so it's 310 degrees. A student says that an angle of 50 degrees is an obtuse angle. The student is wrong. Explain why. Well, below 90 is an acute angle. So the reason is an obtuse angle is bigger than 90 and smaller than 180. Degrees. Write down the coordinates of B. So we need our X coordinate followed by a Y coordinate across 5 up 2, so it's 5, 2. Plot the point with coordinates 4, -2. So across 4, down 2, 4, -2 is here. Label this point C. Write down the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. So the midpoint of AB, I can spot is here. That's like, you can just tell it's halfway along, can't you? Like this triangle there is the same size as that triangle there. So I don't know if you could see that, but I could just tell like that's the midpoint. So what are the coordinates of that midpoint? Cross 1 up 3, so 1, 3. Draw the line with equation y equals -4. So it's a straight line. Make sure you draw yours with a ruler. I don't have a ruler function on this. A straight line across minus 4, because all those coordinate points along that line are -4. Okay, so Max sees this special offer in a shop. Normal price of a large plate is £2. Normal price of a small plate is 80p. Buy one large plate and get one small plate for half the normal price. Max wants 6 large plates. We've got 6. It says you must show how you got your answer. So we know 6 times 2 is £12. So this is for large plates, the cost. Each large plate, for each large plate he buys, he gets a small plate of half the price. It's because he's got 6 large plates, each of his 6 small plates we can get for half the price. Half of 80p, 40p. 6 times 40p. 6 times 4 is 24. Stick a 0 at the end. Just we've got inconsistent units here. We've got pence and pounds. I'm going to convert this into pounds by dividing it by 100. 240p is the same as £2.40. 12 add £2.40. £12 add £2 is £14, so it'd be £14.40 in total. Has Max got enough money? Yes, because he's got £15. Total of 700 tickets were on sale for a football match. 450 tickets were sold. How many were not sold? You might work this out in your head. I'm going to show you using this subtraction method. 0 could take away 2, cannot do. 0, so, but we still need to borrow 1 from next door. We can't borrow 1 from here, have to borrow 1 from here. That becomes a 6. That's 10. Cross that out, becomes 9, 10. Right, 10 take away 2 we can do to get 8. 9 take away 5 is 4. 6 take away 4 is 2. 248 tickets were not sold. For a different football match, 297 tickets were sold at £9.50. 399 tickets were sold at £19.50 each. Work out an estimate. It's a really important word here. So luckily, because I don't really want to do calculations with these big numbers here, we can round everything. I'm going to round 297 tickets to 300. They were each sold at £9.50, which I'm going to round to £10. 3 times 1 is 3. Let's add our zeros on at the end. So we have £3,000 made from these tickets. I'm going to round that to 400. And this to £20. 2 times 4 is 8. Add 3 zeros. 8,000. 8,000 plus 3,000 would be £11,000. Okay, is your answer to part B an underestimate or an overestimate? It's got to be an overestimate because we rounded every single value up as rounded all values up. So that'd be more, wouldn't it, than it would actually cost. Here are 6 numbers, work out the mean. Well, to work out the mean, you add up all your values and divide by the amount. I'm going to add them in pairs. 13 add 5 is 18. 9 add 4 is 13. 8 add 3 is 11. We've got 10, 20, 30, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. If you wanted to do it like this in an addition column method, that's fine, but you should have got 42. We're going to divide by the amount of numbers, which is 6. 42 divided by 6 is 7. 15a divided by 3 is just 5a. Simplify, so collect our like terms. We want any of the numbers by themselves, that stays as 19. Positive 5b, take off 7b. So if you've got 5 and you take off 7, you get to -2, so that'd be -2b. Then you've got 4c, add c, which is 5c. The number 5 is positive, right? So plus 5c, so your final answer, 19 minus 2b plus 5c. Okay, factorise. Factorise means put back into brackets. We're going to have a single bracket here. So what's your highest common factor of 8 and 6 is 2. What do you multiply 2 by to get 8D? It's 4D. What do you multiply 2 by to get 6 is 3. If you're struggling with any of these topics and you feel like you need more revision. So for example, you need more revision on this topic. If you put a little note in the YouTube and tell me what paper it is and what question it is, I can send you a link to some revision videos as well. That might be useful. Last week, 73% of the tickets sold at a cinema were adult tickets. What percentage were not adult tickets? So a percentage, the full percentage is 100%, right? So I need to work out what's remaining to get to 100%. Well, it's 7 to get to 80, and then 90, 100, so it's 27%. Some people watched a film at the cinema. Number of adults to number of children is the ratio 2 to 5. This is in its simplest form. So for every 2 adults, we've got 5 children. So imagine we've got 7 altogether here, haven't we? 7 parts. Or 7 people in total, you can imagine it here. What fraction of adults? Well, we've got 2 adults out of a total of 7, so it's just 2/7. On Friday, 500 people watched a film at cinema, 70% of these were children. 720 people watched the film at the cinema, 5/8 were children. Kasim thinks more children watched the film on Friday than on Saturday. So we need to work out on Friday how many children watched the film, and then on Saturday. Well, we know on Friday it was 70% of 500. How do we work out that without a calculator? Let's get 10% first. To get 10% of 500, we have to divide it by 10, which is 50. Once you've got 10%, it's easier to get the other percent. So let's get 70% next. Times by 7, times by 7. 7 times 5 is 35, and stick a 0 at the end. So that was for Friday. Let's work. So 350 children watched the film on Friday. Let's just see for Saturday. So for Saturday, it was 5/8 of 720. Let's get 1/8 of 720 first. You do that by working out how many 8's go into 720. You could just use a method like this. 8's into 7 is 0. How many 8's go into 72? I know that's 9. And 8's into 0 is just 0. Next step. Now, once you've got 1/8, you just times that by 5 to get 5/8. Because it's right. Imagine you've got like 1/8 and 1/8 5 times. Nine times 5 is 45. Again, put a 0 at the end. So more children watched the film on Saturday. So is Kazim correct, or he thinks more watched on Friday? So no. More children watched on Saturday. Okay, work out 6/7 times 5/12. When you're multiplying fractions, you just multiply your numerators and multiply your denominators. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 12 was 70, 77, 84. Write your fraction in its simplest form. I can see they're both even numbers here, so I'm going to halve both of them, which gives you 15 and 42. You might not spot this, but I can tell that these are both divisible by 3. So I'm going to put divide by 3 to get 5. How many 3's go into 42? Let's just do a quick bus stop. 3's into 4 is 1, remainder 1. 3's into 12 is 4. So 5/14 is your final answer there. Here's a list of ingredients to make 20 biscuits. Harry wants to make 60 biscuits. So to make 20 biscuits into 60, we need to times it by 3, right? Just make a note of that. How much flour does Harry need? Well, we need to times off flour by 3. So we're doing 250 times 3. 3 times 25 is 75. We've got a 0 at the end, so 750 grams. Okay, so the rest, 200 counters in the bag, 38 counters are red, 52 counters are blue. The rest of the counters are yellow or green. There are the same number of yellow counters as green counters. What percentage of the counters in the bag are yellow? Well, how many are red or blue, first of all? Let's add those together. 8 add 2 is 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 90 red or blue. So now we need 200, take away 90. Okay, well, it's 10 to get to 100 and then another 100, so it'd be 110, right? So 110 counters are yellow or green. There are the same number of yellow counters as green counters. So what's half of 110? 55. So we've got 55 yellow, 55 green. What percentage in the bag are yellow? So we've got 55 yellow counters. So it's like, I always write it as a fraction before I consider the percentage. So what fraction of the total are yellow? 55 out of a total of 200. Well, we need to make that into, change a fraction into percentage, we need it as a fraction out of 100. Well, I know to get my denominator into 100, I need to divide it by 2. I'm going to divide my numerator by 2. So I want half of 55. What's half of 50? 25. What's half of 5? 2.5. 25 or 2.5 is 27.5. 27.5 out of 100 is 27.5%. Question 18 is quite tricky, but I have got a good revision video on this. If you want, again, just leave a comment on my YouTube. So Naomi has B bags of apples and C crates of apples. There are 5 apples in each bag. So the way I try and explain this is, right, imagine she's got 2 bags of apples. How many apples does she have in total? 2 times 5 is 10. If she had 4 bags of apples, how many is that in total? 4 times 5 is 20. So what are you always doing to the number of bags that I give you? You're timing it by 5. So if you've got B bags, to get the total number and all the bags, it's just 5 times B, which is 5B. It's similar with crates. If I said to you, well, let's say we've got 10 crates, how many apples would that be? 10 times 28 is 280. We don't know how many crates, but we know we're going to have to multiply the number of crates by 28 to get the number of apples, so it'd be 28C. If we did know the number of apples and the number in the bag and the crate, to get the total number of apples, you just add them together. So which is 5B, add 28C, but you want it as a formula, so T equals. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Find an expression for the nth term. So what's this going up in? It's going up in -5 to 3 is 8. So yeah, it's going up in 8. So we know it is connected with the 8 times table. So it starts off as 8n. I'm going to write the 8 times table underneath here. To get from here to here. To get from 8 to -5, think of it as a number line, right? 8's here, 0 here, -5 here. There's 8 there and there's 5 there. So it'd be 8 take away 13, wouldn't it? And the same here, we're always taking off 13 to get from an 8 times table to the number in my sequence. So it's like the 8 times table, take away 13 as your nth term. Because this would generate your 8 times table, take off 13. Okay, decimals. So I'm going to write this as a fraction first. This decimal is making it awkward. So I'm going to times the numerator and denominator by 100 to get rid of that decimal. So that division is exactly the same as doing 146 divided by 15. Now I'm going to use my bus stop. But I'm going to write my 15 times table over here, that might help. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Right, okay, how many 15s go into 8? Well, that's 0. 15s into 84. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's your remainder? To get from 75 to 84, There's an extra 9, so put my remainder here. 15's into 96. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's my remainder? Well, I've got to 90, got 6 left over here. Decimal, but I've got to create a decimal point now. 15's into 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer 56.4. Next one, work out 7 3/8 minus 2.5. I'm going to change them both into improper fractions first. 7 times 8 is 56, add 3 is 59. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We need to have the denominator the same when you add or subtract fractions. What's the lowest common multiple of 2 and 8? It's 8. I'm going to make them both into equivalent fractions out of 8. This first fraction's already out of 8. So what I'm going to do, if you multiply that by 4, you get 8. I'm going to multiply that by 4. Okay, so now we can work it out. Denominator stays the same. What's 59? Take away 20. Again, I'm sure you can work this out in your head, but 9 take away 0 is 9. 5 take away 2 is 3. How do we change that into a mixed number fraction? How many 8s go into 39? 8, 16, 24, 32 is 4. What's your remainder? We got to 32. We want to get to 39. So it's another 7. So it's 4 and 7/8. A cube has a total surface area of 150 centimeters squared. Imagine a cube, it's got 6 faces, right? The total surface area, the total area of all those faces added together gives you this. Well, because it has 6 faces, I'm going to divide it by 6 first to work out the area of each face. 6 is into 1, 0, carry the 1, 6 is into 15, 6, 12 is 2, remainder 3, 6 is into 30 is 5. So the area of each face is 25. Well, it's a cube, all the faces are squares. So the squares have all the lengths are the same. So I know that 5 times 5 gives you 25. So I know this dimension is 5. How do you work out the volume of a cube? Length times width times height. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5, 125 centimeters cubed. So we're working out the volume. And that's the formula for the volume, right? Okay, frequency polygon. So to draw a frequency polygon, we need the midpoints of the rainfall first. I'm going to create an extra column here. What's midway between 0 and 5? It's 2.5, 7.5, 12.5, 17.5, 22.5. So I'm going to plot the midpoint against the frequency. 2.5 is exactly in the middle of 0 and 5, and we need to go up to 8. If I just see on my y-axis, each little square is 1, so that's quite straightforward. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 7.5 and 24. 12.5 and 13. 17.5 and 11. 22.5 and 4. And then with a ruler, again, I do not have a ruler, I'm going to just join these up. And that's our frequency polygon drawn correctly. Okay, I've got a Venn diagram next. Well, what are the odd numbers? So the whole universal set represents the numbers 1 to 10. What odd numbers are there? We've got 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Well, what are the square numbers here? 1 times 1 is 1. 1's a square number. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is a square number. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is a square number. 4 times 4 is 16. Don't need 16, it's above 10. So which numbers occur in both of these lists? It's 1 and 9, so they go in the middle. What's remaining in A? 1, 9, so we've got 3, 5, 7. And what's remaining here? 4. And all the other numbers go around the side. So we've got 2, 6, 8, and 10. Find the probability. All right, a number is chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability this is in the set B dash. That means not B. So circle here represents everything that's in B. How many numbers, are not in B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 10 numbers altogether. Okay, next question. Scatter diagram. So we've got the age against the weight of some babies. Describe the relationship between the age and weight of the babies. It's not asking for the correlation. What's the relationship? So can you see, as the age increases, so does the weight of the babies. So it's got to be something along those lines. As the age of the baby increases, the weight increases. Right, I'm going to snip this one over because I want to show you how to find the line of draw the line of best fit with a ruler. So because you're given some information here, another baby has a weight of 5.8 kilograms. Use the scatter graph to find an estimate for the age of the baby. We need to draw a line of best fit first. Let's just wait for this to load up. The line of best fit has to follow the general direction of all your crosses, but you've got to have approximately the right number of crosses either side. So I'm going to draw it. Doesn't need to go through the origin. I'm going to draw it there, I think. Yeah, that looks about right. 5.8. Now, again, just check the scale of your graph here. That's age 1 month. So can you see it's going up in 0.2s here. So the age was 5.8, I think. Let me just go back to this. I can't remember the question now. Oh no, the baby has a weight of 5.8 kilograms. Sorry, so we need 5.8 on the y-axis. But again, it is going up in 0.2. So where's 5.8 for 5.2468 is here. And actually draw these marks across here so the examiner knows how you found your age. So that's 3.246. You might have a slightly different answer. Let's just see. So the mark scheme got quite generous, anything from 2.5 to 4.5 there. Okay, the price of a holiday increases by 20%. Okay, so the 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. So what that's telling you here really is 20% represents 240. So if 20% represents 240, 10% would represent half of that, right? Which is 120. We want to work out the price of the holiday before the increase. So we want to work out what 100% is. Like that's the value of the holiday before the increase. So we're going to, if 10% is 120, we times that by 10, which gives you 1,200. Okay, so we've got a cylinder here. Let me just check to see the formulas you're given. Right, we're not given volume of a cylinder, so you have to know that one. It's pi r squared h. Area of circle times height. We're given the force here. Force is 90 newtons. And we're given the volume. Oh, hang on. Right, so we don't know the area. We're asked to find the pressure. But because we know the volume and we know the height, if we do the volume divided by the height, that gives you the area of this circle here. I'm going to do 1,200 divided by 40. I'm going to write it as a fraction. Zeros cancel. 4 into 12 is 3, but you've still got your 0 is 30. So we know the area of that base is 30. So now we know the area and we know the force. So when you're doing these in class, you might have used this little triangle here, pressure, force, area. So it's similar to the speed, distance, time one and the density. Mass, volume, triangle. So force goes at the top. And area goes at the bottom here. We're working out pressure. 90, when one's above the other, we divide them. 90 divided by 30 is 3. So it's 3 newtons per centimetre squared. Use your graph to solve the simultaneous equation. So this is my graph of 2 minus 2y equals x, and this is my graph for 2y equals 3x minus 22. So when are x and y the same? Well, let's widen the cross here. So what's x? X is 6. What's y? Minus 2. Work out the value of. Right, base is the same. So when you're multiplying indices, you can add the powers. Minus 6 plus 9 is 3. So that was simplified to 4 is the power 3. Now we're dividing, so we subtract powers when the base is the same. The base is the same. 3 take away 1 is 2. So what's 4 squared? 16. Write down the exact value of cos 60. So this is kind of remembering all your sine cos ratios. I always remember that the sine of 30 is a half. So let me generate my triangle from here. That's 30. Opposite hypotenuse. 30, 90, that's 60. 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it's a half. Got my probability tree diagram drawn with all the probabilities here. Work the probability that Shayla will work at home on Monday and work at the office on Friday. You multiply along our branches. 0.2 times 0.3. Well, I know 2 times 3 equals 6, but I've divided both of those by 10 here. I need to divide that by 10 and by 10 again, 0.06. And that's the end of the paper. Hopefully you found that useful and maybe watch the recording for paper 2 next. Okay, thank you.